Un homme d'Allah, le gracieux, le miséricordieux. Toutes les louanges appartiennent à Allah, le Seigneur de tous les mondes. Le gracieux, le miséricordieux, le maître de jour de jugement. C'est toi seul que nous adorons, et c'est de toi seul que nous implorons le secours. Guarde-nous sur les doigts rémines. Le rémine de ceux à qui tu as accordé ta faveur, par celui de ceux qui se sont attirés ton courroux, et de ceux qui se sont égarés.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. This means, may the peace and blessings of God be upon us. Good evening. My name is Dr. Imam Hanif. On behalf of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Association Leamington Spa, it gives me great pleasure to warmly welcome you all to this peace conference.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فأعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, ever merciful. Very respected ladies and gentlemen, first of all I would like to share with you the Islamic greeting. The subject of the meeting is peace, and the subject of Islam, as a matter of fact, the real meaning of Islam is peace. Therefore, Islam requires that whenever you happen to meet anyone, maybe a Muslim, maybe a non-Muslim, you always exchange the greeting of peace by repeating the following wording, which says, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. That may peace and blessings and bounties of God be upon all of you. So with these sentiments and with these feelings of peace, I would like to present my submission this evening. When I was sitting at the main table and I was looking around the audience, I was really thrilled to see so many very respected dignitaries, particularly the mayors sitting here with their shiny golden chains, which were adding to the beauty of the and decorum of this place. But I was thinking that how is this life? We have these means of enjoyment and happiness, while the life at this particular time is something which is soaked in blood. At the end of the last year, which is not too far, there was a very tragic incident in Pakistan. More than 134 innocent children, they were killed by the terrorist. And then in the beginning of this year, on 7th of January, there was a very brutal attack on the office of one publication in Paris. And as a result of that, the editorial board members and many others, they were killed. So in this background, we can see that there are very sorrowful stories here and there, everywhere. So we can simply express our condolences to the families of the bereaved people, to the families of the bereaved. And also, we can condemn this thing wherever it happens. Islam is all for peace. And the message of peace is to be shared with all the people. So wherever this brutality takes place, irrespective of the fact who does it, irrespective of the fact who is the victim, whenever the human blood is shed, we feel no reservation in condemning that. So therefore, whether it is Pakistan, whether it is Paris, whether it is anywhere else, and minor incidents are happening here and there in Nigeria, in Africa, and so many other countries. So wherever these atrocities are committed, we always condemn that. And this is one of the feelings that I have in my mind. And then when I look at the subject in front of me, how to establish peace in the world, or peace in the society, because these two things have been used, but they are not basically different. if the peace in society is there, only then we can have the peace in the world. But rather I would go a step further. Really we are able to enjoy the peace in ourselves, individually. Then there will be peace in the family. Then there will be peace in society. And then there will be peace in the country. And then we will be able to enjoy the peace in the world. And this is very important, that we must be working together for this noble cause. And history tells us that human beings, they have been working for the establishment of peace since the creation of mankind. Fighting was there in the very beginning. Among the sons of Adam, there was fight there. So fight started from there, since the very creation of human being was there. And it continues. Even in those countries which are generally described to be peaceful countries, but violation is there everywhere, every day. Look and pick up any newspaper, any day. You will find some mention of bloodshed, fighting, or any other incident of that nature. So it's really a very important issue that how to establish peace. Various efforts have been made in the past. After the World War First, there was the establishment of the League of Nations. Then after the World War II, the establishment of the United Nations. So that continues. That indicates that the human beings, they love to have peace. And they want to do some effort for that. But unfortunately, neither the League of Nations was successful, nor, sadly, I would say, the United Nations is successful. They have not been able to block these incidents happening there, here and there. And the peace is still as far from achievement as it was ever before. So therefore, what I would like to share with you is that actually the religion can play a very important role. And for that matter, from the religious point of view and from the Islamic point of view, I would like to share certain thoughts with you. What does Islam say, and how can Islam lead us to the establishment of peace in society? We believe that religion is the pathway which takes the people to God, their creator. The literal meaning of the deen, or the mazhab, that's the Arabic word, is the path. And path that leads the mankind to their creator. And the creator is the one, give any name to that creator. There is one being who has created us all. And it is to that being that we are going to return in the end. So how to go back to God in a glorious way when He is happy with us and we are happy with the reward He is going to give us? That is the eternal, ultimate achievement of having the peace. So Islam has got something very important to say in that matter. As I mentioned in the beginning, that Islam literally means peace. The word Islam has got two meanings. One is the peace, and the second is the total submission to the will and command of God. Now these two meanings, they are not two different things. As a matter of fact, one and the same thing. And actually, in one, if the objective is mentioned, in the other, the means is mentioned there. By totally obeying and being obedient to the will and command of God, we can be at peace with God. We can be at peace with ourselves. And then we can have the peace everywhere. So the real attainment of peace, that depends in listening to the command of God and following that. And that is the essence of Islam. There is a very profound and basic definition of a Muslim. Muslim means the one who truly believes in Islam. The Holy Prophet of Islam has given a very beautiful definition. Since I have read it as a child, I always admire. And I say that no magnanimous definition could be given which is more than that. He has said, and I quote, Al-Muslimu man saliman naso min lisanihi wa yadihi. That a true Muslim is he from whose hand other people, all other people, they are absolutely at peace from his tongue and from his hand. He is not going to give any harm to anybody. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Just look at this definition, which includes that a Muslim should always be the well-wisher of the whole mankind and never giving them any harm by way of mouth or by way of hand. He is a peaceful person. In himself, he is a peaceful person. In herself, she is a peaceful person. And these are the people who are spreading the message of peace to other people. And in this context, if you see, there are some people who raise the slogan of Islam today. Like the people said in Paris, Allahu Akbar, and they shot at these people. They brought in the name of Islam. They brought in the name of God Almighty, Allah, and then they killed it. So people should realize this thing, that that was something which they did totally against the will and command of God, against the permission of God. God Almighty does not permit anybody to kill other person like that. So those people, they did it. So naturally, the loss of the human being is there, which we strongly condemn. That why these people were killed. I mean, whatever they did, that's a separate thing. But since taking law into your hand and to kill the people is against the teachings of Islam. But what actually has happened? And I described it the other day, last Sunday I was in Glasgow, and I was speaking on this very subject almost. And I mentioned that the greatest tragedy in this time is that the beautiful name of Islam has been tarnished, and that has been brought into whole controversy. People don't say that those people who killed, they are bad. Actually, they say they killed it because of Islam, and that is something which brings bad name to Islam. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to make it very clear. Take it from me. I have read the Holy Quran many times. There is no such teaching anywhere in the Holy Quran that a Muslim should take the liberty of killing the people right and left like that. Nowhere it is permitted. So those people who bring in the name of Islam, they are actually doing the greatest injustice and greatest disservice to the beautiful name of Islam. Islam is far from it. Islam is all for peace. And I will show you certain points how Islam has taken the subject at its root and wants to establish that. And regarding the salutation which I mentioned in the very beginning of my submission, I want to share with you one of the sayings of the Prophet, where he has said, Sallim ala man arafta wa man lam tarif. That whenever you happen to meet someone anywhere, maybe a Muslim, maybe a non-Muslim, maybe your home, maybe somebody else's home, maybe in the office, maybe in the street, maybe in the market, wherever, whether you know that person or not, Islam says you are advised to offer the greeting of peace. So this is a message which is reminded to the true believers. To the true believer I am saying, not those people who are the so-called Muslims and misuse this message of Islam. Islam says the true Muslim should always extend the message of peace to the people he knows and the people he doesn't know. I mean, what a beautiful teaching is that. Normally, when you come across anybody whom you know, you say, hello, how are you, and this and that. That's understandable. But if you say hello or good morning or good evening, even to those people whom you don't know, then it will be worthy of more praise. And that is what Islam says, that always the greeting of peace, salam or assalamu alaikum, the message of peace should be greeted to all the people. And regarding the various steps which can be taken for the establishment of peace, Islam has mentioned that the journey of peace is a very long journey. As a matter of fact, it is a lifelong task which people have to accomplish. Everybody should become a peaceful person, maybe male or female, maybe young and old, maybe Muslim or any other person. Message of Islam is for everyone. This is again one of the teachings of Islam, that all the religions, they have come from God. People say that religion is the cause of destruction. Religion is the cause of fighting between people and people, followers of one religion and the followers of other religion. That is again a misgiving, misunderstanding. To my mind as a Muslim, according to the teaching of Islam, I can declare and tell you that no religion, as a matter of fact, promotes war and hatred. I don't blame Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Sikhism, Buddhism or any other religion for that matter. No religion on the surface of the earth ever promotes war and hatred. Why? Islamic philosophy is so profound. It says that one of the attribute of God, who is the originator of mankind, who is the one who has been setting forth the messengers for the guidance of the mankind, one of the attribute of that God is as-salam. As-salam, again, very close to the meaning of salam, means he is the fountainhead of peace and happiness. So if that God who is the fountainhead of peace, how can he give a message of hatred and warfare at any part of in any religion or at any stage of mankind? So therefore Islam openly believes and openly would declare that no religion whatsoever of the whole world is the one which promotes war. And Islam is all for peace, as I said. This is the only religion out of all the names of the religions which literally means peace. But the teachings of all the religions, I declare in front of you, they always are leading to the peace. But what happens is, and that's happening these days to Islam, that some people, follower of a certain religion, they disregard the teachings of their own religion. For example, just by way of example, I can say, if some Christians disregard the teaching of Christianity, and then they start fighting with one another, as in some countries, sometime unfortunately it happens. So in that case, I as a Muslim would never blame Christianity. I would say those people are wrong who actually disregard their own teaching of peace. Why not the same attitude is adopted by other people? If you come across some people who apparently say we are Muslims, they pronounce the name of Islam, they say Allahu Akbar, and then they shoot down the people. Why do not the people in the world, they stand against this killing and they say those people who did it, they are responsible for that. And the greatest tragedy is that unfortunately the name of Islam is brought into that one. And people very conveniently shift the blame not on those people who are really the culprits, but the blame comes to Islam. That should not be the case. It is not fair. I tell you that I have never ever blamed any religion for that matter, that some of their followers, they are doing against their religion and they are playing havoc with the people. Never, because this will be totally unfair. So this just and fair approach should be taken by all the people. So as I said, the journey begins from a very long journey is there, journey to the peace. And God Almighty says that the very fundamental thing which can really bring about the peace in society, that is the belief in God. Belief in God, actually it is the central point of all the religions. So if people truly believe in God, the creator, the maker, and the one to whom the people have to go back on the day of judgment, if they are mindful of that, I'm sure that nobody will be there to commit any sin. No matter of killing the people, innocent people or whatever. Fighting will not take place if people really have the belief in God. So that is one of the fundamental steps which Islam says. Secondly, as I mentioned, the journey is very long. It starts from one certain individual, every individual as a matter of fact. Then it starts from the family. If peace is established in the family, husband and wife, they not only love one another, rather they also respect one another. They also look after their children, and the children look after their parents. If the family atmosphere is full of peace, then that would be one central point from which the journey of peace will start there. Without such a family example, you cannot expect to have the peace. If there are houses, broken marriages are there, battered wives are there, fighting is there, cheating is there, one is not honest to one another, then how can you establish or how can you believe that that family is living a peaceful life? Certainly not. So that is the one starting point which generally is ignored. But Islam has emphasized very much. Islam says both the husband and wife, they must be very honest and loyal to one another. They should be totally committed in this bond of marriage to one another. And no other person should be allowed to come in. None of them should ever cheat upon the partner. They should be loyal and utmost loyal to one another. So this type of teaching is there in Islam. I don't have enough time to go into detail, but I would like to refer to one verse of the Holy Quran, which says that hunna libasul lakum wa antum libasul lahunna. A very beautiful verse of the Holy Quran. It says that men are like a garment for the wives, and the wives are like a garment for the men. As the garment is the source of beautification, of adornment, and also covering the weaknesses of one another, so that role has been given to one another. And if two members of a family, husband and wife, both are understanding this principle, then they would be very kind and very peaceful to one another, and that would be the start of the journey of peace. In the society, Islam has presented various principles for the establishment of peace. I would like to say one is the element of equality. Islam says that all people, they are of equal status. But obviously, I'm not talking of physical equality. Physical equality is nowhere there. Can you see anybody just exactly similar to you? Look right and left, nobody is similar to you. Men are different, women are different, and then women and women are different. Men and men are different. Even the twin brothers, they are different. Twin sisters are different. There is no two people in the world who are exactly 100% similar to one another. So that sort of physical equality is just imaginary thing. Nowhere it is there. But the real equality, that is the teaching which Islam has presented. And that equality is the spiritual equality, the religious equality, and equality in the sight of God. This is what Islam promotes, that all human beings, they are equal in the sight of God. To the Muslims, God Almighty says that all of you are equal to me, and equal responsibilities are there, maybe, and certainly that is the case, that according to the physical form of creation of men and women, God Almighty has given different appropriate responsibilities to both men and women. So the role of mother is different than the role of the father. But both are equally responsible. And if they look after that responsibility, they would be very faithful to one another. So this type of equality is there. Generally a question is raised that what is the status of women in Islam? Well, the status of Islam, we openly declare in the teachings of Islam, in the sight of God, is exactly equal. There is no difference. There is a verse in this book, Holy Quran, which is in front of me, which has mentioned that loyal people, the sane people, honest people, and those who are worshipping people, men and women. Repeatedly, 7-8 times, God Almighty has repeated the qualities of the people, that those who are having those qualities, both will be rewarded, equal reward from God Almighty. And they will be appreciated by God. So that sort of equality is mentioned regarding the men and women, and there are so many details that we can discuss later. The other thing is the quality of justice. That is also a very fundamental quality. Injustice is the cause of war. Injustice is the cause of fighting. If justice is truly established in society, you will see the peace there. One example of injustice I can tell you, people are very fond of appreciating United Nations. Personally, I don't disregard everything good in that. There are some good points. But what is the justification of this power of veto? Just some countries have been given the power to simply rule out any proposal or any resolution presented by the majority number of the countries. Just one member of the veto group, they can simply stand and say, I reject it, and that proposal is rejected. That is not equality. So far as the status of a country is concerned, that entity should be respected, and all countries should be treated equally. But this is not the case. So the result of the injustice is in front of you. Another golden principle, I'm just quickly going through that. Another golden principle of peace, which Islam has mentioned, and that's also a beautiful thing. You can try it yourself if you like. It says that ta'awanu alal birri wa taqwa, wala ta'awanu alal ismi wal udwan. that always cooperate with one another in matters of goodness. Whenever you are called upon to do something, maybe somebody is establishing a charity and he goes door to door through the email or whatever, and he promotes that, well, this is the good job I want to do. Don't look who is the one, whether he's a Christian or a Buddhist or a Muslim. If you are confident that the purpose for which this man or this lady is organizing a charity, then if possible you cooperate with that. وَلَا تَعَوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. The second part is that if you are called upon to commit a sin or do something wrong, then never cooperate. So this spirit of cooperation for goodness and rejection of cooperation for the call of something doing bad, that is the teaching of Islam. What a beautiful teaching there. If all of us today, for example, take this principle as a motto, that in our life, if at any stage we are called upon to come and get together for a purpose, noble purpose, we will be there to cooperate. And if we are invited to do something wrong, however good it may appear to be to some people, but we are not going to extend our support and cooperation. There will be peace. This is the principle which Islam gives, that always the people should have that principle. Another principle which Islam has given to establishment of the peace, as I briefly touched earlier on, is that some people say that the war is because of religions, and religion is responsible for the world wars and the other wars, while this is totally against the historical fact. Islam has taught that the respect of all other religions should be done by the Muslims, and so it is expected from others as well. Islam teaches the respect for other religions, respect for the prophets in that religion, and respect for the book which they follow. So after all, if the message has originated from the same God that we believe in, why not the people should believe in the same thing, and also they should have all the respect there. So this is a very beautiful teaching in Islam, that the respect should be given to other religions, whatever religion it may be, because all the religions, they have originated from God. The religion, their book, their prophet, and also their worship places. There are examples in certain countries, the worship places of the Muslims, that they are being desecrated, they are being destroyed, and they say that we do it in the name of religion. I wonder, where have they got this teaching? Islam says that the respect of all religions should be there, but they do not understand that one. So there are quite a few points, but I would like to leave it and just to say concluding few words, because I am told that after that there will be some time for you to ask the questions, and I will try to answer that one. So ladies and gentlemen, at the end of my submission, I would like to say that this period of time through which we are passing, actually the need of peace is ever greater. I mean, when we see these happenings, these atrocities being committed here and there, and the innocent people are killed, innocent children are being killed, then there is a need of establishment of peace. And the role of religion, to my mind, is very important. So therefore, this is something for our own benefit, that we acquire peace. And this, if we have this quality of peace in our life, then our life in the hereafter will also be full of peace. So this is the objective which we all have to try to achieve with cooperation, with that spirit of cooperation which I mentioned earlier on, and also respecting the feelings of other people, the sentiments of other people, never ever to hurt the feelings of other people. If we become like that, I can assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that we will be having the fruits of peace in our society. When the society is peaceful, then the whole world is peaceful. So may God enable us to understand these principles and to have the sweet fruits of peace everywhere. God bless us all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Imam.
Very pleased to have just attended a conference at the Muslim Ahmadiyya Association in Leamington about how do we achieve peace in society? We've had some very profound words from some very good speakers this evening and some very good questions from the audience. We've just come from a meal together, some wonderful hospitality, but I think the points were made were very important. How do we achieve peace? How do we achieve peace through learning about peace in ourselves, learning about peace in our families, in our countries, in our communities and across the world. I thank the Muslim Ahmadiyya Association for organising this evening. I for one have learned a great deal.
Okay, my name is Peggy. I'm a French person and I want to say how grateful and how very much touched I've been to be invited to that event, and also I want to say how I feel it's so important to have these type of events happen, because it obviously reinforces the links between community, but I believe it's by doing that kind of cooperation and sharing dinner together that means that we're less at risk of violence and more likely to have peace. So merci beaucoup. I'm very touched, très touchée.
My name's Jo Beckett and I really enjoyed this evening's event. There was a very strong message of peace, and I shall be taking home some of those ideas with me. The idea of instilling peace in your family and then being able to bring that out into the community is a very powerful idea.
I'm the Welfare Officer at the Leamington Association. I'd like to thank the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community for inviting us to their meeting tonight. It was exceptional, I enjoyed it, and the meal afterwards was very nice, and the people themselves made us most welcome, and thank you, and I hope you enjoyed our club.
I'm Paul McIntyre, I'm head teacher of Myton School, a large multicultural comprehensive school serving Warwick and Leamington. We're extremely pleased to support today's event, celebrating the peaceful coexistence and mutual respect for all communities in the Warwick and Leamington area. The keynote address raised a number of issues and ideas about how we can move forward in harmony, and again we wish to reiterate our support for all communities in our area for peaceful coexistence and for a positive future for every person in our care. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for the invitation to come tonight. I think with what's happened since the start of the new year, this is a very opportune moment to learn a lot more about the Muslim faith, and I think for us to understand the true faith as well, and that not to be constantly reminded of the wrong way the Quran particularly is being interpreted. I come in the summer to your ladies' events and I've really always enjoyed that and been made very welcome, and once again tonight your hospitality has been fantastic. Thank you very much.
I very much appreciated your kind invitation to this very, very wonderful evening. I hope your speaker put over the problem very, very well, and we do hope that mankind as a whole responds to his wonderful message. Thank you very much for your hospitality. I very much enjoyed the evening. Well done.
I'm Derek from the Green Party and a member of this community. I'm very grateful for your hospitality tonight. A wonderful expression of peace in our community. Thank you.